G'day everyone, welcome to the Opal Mills. This channel all about opal and opal related things and what I get up to with it mainly. Today we're going to be doing some gold work for the second time for me, and we'll be setting this one. We'll be setting all of them eventually, but we'll start with this one. And yeah, welcome to all new subscribers, and for those thinking of subscribing, this channel is just about opal. It goes from mining, buying parcels, cutting, treating matrix, silversmithing, goldsmithing with opals, and other opal related things that I can think of, inlay, doublets. Yeah, so welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing gold. Won't be cutting anything as these are already cut, but you would have seen these, or you can see these in a past video where these were cut, and they're finally getting around to getting set. So we got the gold in, and my nerves are up to give it another attempt with gold. Done it once, success. Let's see if my success rate stays the same. So yeah, we're gonna use this 2x1 mil 18 karat gold, and this is going to be our base. We'll have some 0.5 mil claws coming up off it to hold the stone in. We'll bezel the inside edge to sit the stone down slightly, and then we'll just do a loop and bail and polish it and set it. So to start with, we're going to need to get this annealed, which means arranging all the molecules through heat just to even them out again so we can bend it without stretching too much one side. And yeah, metal does not, well, silver and gold especially do not like to just be bent and bent and bent and bent, because you're stretching the molecules on the outside when you're bending the curve this way. Oh, here we go. This inside edge, they've been bunched up, the outside edge, they've been stretched apart, and if I continue to do that, you can actually end up with tears or stretch horrible marks in your gold and silver. So annealing it will keep the molecular dispersion even. I think that's a way of putting it, which we want to do because this stuff's expensive. So anyway, over to the soldering station. We'll go give this some heat. Alright, so we've got it all annealed, ready to bend. So now what we want to do is silhouette this to the same size so that this sits perfectly on there with flush sides to the edge of this. That way we'll set this down a little bit into the gold and have the claws come straight up off the sides and curve straight over the stone. So now we're going to get out some of the hard solder. We're going to do some soldering. Oops, forgot to hit record. It's another day, come out, grabbed all these out to pickle. By the way, there's 5 of these being made, but we'll just follow this one for this video. So I've just given it a quick filing around the outside, or reshape in a filing. And what I'm doing now is going around the inside, beveling that inside edge for the stone to sit into. And to do that, I don't have the right tool, so I'm going to use this. Which is like a little flush cutter bit. So I'm just going to run around, giving that a bevel, till it almost reaches the outside edge and the same stone sits down into it. So that's what I'm up to at the moment. Alright, so next step's going to be to put some claws on. Haha. So we're going to mark out where they're going to go, and then we're going to cut a little slot for them to sit in to come up in position. Oh, look about right. So we're going to get the saw, start to slice some slots. I've got my marks marked out, lines drawn. Now, this being the top, I want the notch to be more in the bottom and just broaching the surface at the top. And that way it won't be straight up and down, it'll be, well, this is a bit exaggerated, but the pins will be, or claws, set out slightly, which gives them room to come back around without interfering with the stone setting. In case you go too deep and you encroach on where the stone sits, then you have to bend them out, then around. So that's the way I'm going to do them. Wax on the lathe. Yeah, success. got all the 4 claws on that one. Just got to put the loop in the bail. Alright, might show you how to do these claws. I'm in a bit of a swing of them at the moment, so it was taking a fair while to get back in the swing of things. But we've got to get these little tiny claws into the notches on the side of here. So I thought I'd just show you. First, stab it into the brick. We've got the setting upside down so that the claws are going to poke up the right way. And we carefully poke this in, getting on the right angle. Making sure it's, let's see if I can do this without getting you dizzy. On the right angle in that groove. Right here. So it has to sit in the little slot I've made, and that way it will bond nicely in there. So we've got that one sitting there, and I do them one by one. So first things first, setting's been in the pickle, so it's pretty clean. But we want to clean the surface, make sure it's very, very clean. And that's another purpose for flux. It also cleans as well as prepares your surface, gets rid of the oxygen layer. So we don't need much because we don't want the solder to flow everywhere. So I'm going to burn that off so I can see what's what. Nice and clear, grab a bit of solder. And then, with this big, my needle ones aren't working too well at the moment, so we're going to use a big one, and we won't melt the claws. Done. Next one. Come over this side. So. Alright, so I'm just making up some of these little things, ready to hang the pendant from, some bales. So I've done the loops, time for some bales. So that's one, got a couple more to do, and I'm just using the same 2x1 rectangle wire, cutting it to length, filing it down, stamping it and bending it. So we'll mark this one out and start cutting. Alright, now I've got to thin these edges out a bit. It's a bit thick. So what we do, put that in there, tighten that up, put a flat file, and evenly file it down from the tip. And there we go. Just come down this side a bit more. There we go. So I'll do the same the other side. Okay, so there we go. Now we've just got to bring it each to a point. There we go, for one. So there we go. Now to stamp it. Pick the broader edge. Stamp, head over the stamp. Right. $750. That's 750 parts out of 1,000. 750 is 3/4 of 1,000. 3/4 of 100. We call that 75%. So we call that 75% gold. Translated to 3/4 of 24 carats is 18 carats. 18 is 3/4 of 24. 18 karat gold. 750. Just to gauge something like this, 0.25 of a gram, at roughly 95 a gram. Let's call it 100 for round figures. $25. This whole pendant, at the size that it's made in silver, would be a couple of dollars worth of silver. So that gives you an idea of the difference that we're playing with here. Alright, so now we need to bend this to shape, and it's very strong stuff. This, by comparison with the silver, is a lot more malleable, I find anyway. So we want that to bend in the middle, which means I'll grab it just before the middle, give it a bit of a bend somehow. Check to make sure we're straight. A crooked bend. We start that off that side, and as you can see, it's off center down here, but that's by design. I'm going to grab it by this side, and that should even it out. So there we go. Now I've got it that far. What we're going to do is a bit of wire here so that we can keep our gap in the middle. And we're going to close it this way. So I might block the view. I need to do this straight on. Oh, there we go. Just make sure it's bending evenly. There we go. Alright, so we're at the stage. Start adding our bail. Make sure the 750 goes at the back. I'm just going to pinch that closed. Alright, so I've got all the bales set up so that they're sitting into the brick and that the loop is sort of not touching it best I can, so it just heats that part up without transferring any heat to the other rest of the pendant. So we've used hard solder up till now, and I don't want to risk coming undone. So a slightly lower melting point will be the soft solder or easy solder, and that's what I'll be using. And yeah, here goes. Last solder. Let's see if I can keep it together. Got flux on each. Doesn't need much. Alright, so here we go. Start with the one we've been following the whole time. Still in its rough, just been made state. We're going to have to trim these claws back, sit the stone in and figure out how high the claws are going to be, tidy it up. We'll probably trim the claws down last, and just give it a general pre-polish. Then we set. I can't wait. Let's have a look, preview, sneak peek. That look the right way. Awesome. So yeah, I'll start doing this bit in stages and come back and show you. Okay, here we are. So we got a pre-polish up to 1200 on this. So now's the time to set. And to do this, I'm going to bring each claw in one by one and create them all in nice and even, and then figure out the height I need to cut them at. To do this, we'll use what we call a prong pusher. It's a square head. So I'm just going to push them up to straight. So they're a bit V'd out. Slowly bring them in. I'll have to take it off this mat. Trim the claws up. Alright, so I've marked where I want my claws to be trimmed, and now I'm just going to take them back and tidy them up a bit. And there we go, finished product. One gold pendant, 18 carat. Handmade. So, not only have we done that, but we've done all that. Two. Really nice crystal this. Definitely deserved gold. I must admit, I'm sort of becoming partial to gold, just for probably the difference at the moment, and always seeing it in silver. So there we go, 5 golden pendants. So there we go, that's the one we followed for for the whole journey, or the main one anyway. Fingerprints all over it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. I've got another trip coming up soon, so be up in Andamooka over the next week somewhere, and get another video out up there hopefully. So I'm getting mesmerised by this. So yeah, I'll end this one here, and maybe see you in the next one. Cheers.